Hello friends, and welcome back to Aaron's Anxiety. I am your host Aaron, your personal guide through anxiety. This is an odd voice. Kind of gives me anxiety having this voice. Yes, I feel like a guy that's like a jester, you know? I'm like a king. Hello sir, how are you? Like that kind of. Sorry, I have tangents. Anyways, today's topic is going to be about reframing, okay? For those of you that don't know, okay, I have had a video about this before, but it's kind of an evolving subject, and there's a lot of new subscribers that don't know and don't need to go back into the archives, and there's new ways that I feel about things, so I will recover it. And it's actually very important. If you have anxiety and you have not heard of reframing yet, it can be very beneficial, and it can help you out a lot. So, without further ado, if you haven't already, like, comment, don't subscribe unless you've seen more than one video. If you've seen more than one video and you like who I am and what I'm about and how I go about combating anxiety, then please, I would love to have your subscription to my channel. And also, Aaron's Anxiety Family. Type that in your Facebook search, Aaron's Anxiety Family. There's 3 questions. Answer those 3 questions, otherwise you do not get in. And then we'd love to have you part of that family as well. The more we have, the better off we're going to be, the more experiences we have, and the more do's and don'ts, the faster this anxiety journey is going to go, all right? And that's the goal, is to get through it as fast and as safe and as easy as possible. So, reframing. Reframing is very beneficial. I found a lot of use in it. And just to give you a quick, short backstory, because it's going to help frame the reframing for later. But I'm going to use me as the example, and I'm going to tell you my story. For those of you that don't already know it, it's going to be a very quick version. I have other things, videos about my story. I'm sure I'm going to cover it later, but quickly, I've never been one to smoke marijuana. It's never been really my shtick. I have a lot of friends and family members that partake quite often, and it's just never been something. I've tried it before. It was never really a me thing, and that was fine. For me, it's like, oh, I like Coke, you like Pepsi. That's cool. I don't like Pepsi. Don't make me like Pepsi. So yeah, no problems if you do. All right, cool. I have a lot of friends that do it. I'm hunky dory. It just never was my thing. So that being said, I've always ran high energy, which in turn will come back with high anxiety most of my life. I remember being little, worried about a lot of things like health and stuff like that. When you shouldn't. You should be worried about being little. But fast forward that, it was manageable. But fast forward that until, I don't know, like, I think I'm running into like 3 years ago now, 2.5, 3 years ago. My wife was getting really bad headaches, migraines, and she was trying a lot of different things and they really weren't working. So one of my friends that is an avid smoker of that, he was like, hey man, why don't you just try? He goes, I'll just roll you a joint and you can try that and see if that helps her migraines. And I was like, dude, I would love that. That'd be awesome, because any kind of relief is going to be great at this point, because they're miserable. They can make her nauseous, and it's just something. So he did that, and she had a really bad migraine. She lit that thing up, took a couple puffs on it. She wasn't trying to get plastered and stoned or anything like that, just 2 puffs on it, and it worked beautifully. It worked like a charm. It was wonderful. Knocked out the migraine. She'd go back to what she was doing, go back about her day, and it was quite wonderful. So, that worked. And that worked for a while. That being said, Aaron, who's chock full of horrible ideas all the time, right? There's no shortage of them over here. I decide one day that, hey, you know what? I'm a grown-up. I can do what I want. And there's a joint right here, you know? I can smoke this thing. And I remember thinking in my head, well, last time I tried to smoke, I only smoked a little bit. And I was like, maybe it's like this is what's going on in my head. Maybe it's like a volume thing. Maybe I just need more, you know? Like, because if you're getting tipsy versus getting drunk, you know, there's a difference. You know, you're feeling nice or you're feeling, you really know. I was like, maybe I need more. And I took one of Sam's little things that she had literally, neither of us smoked. So it was literally, if she ever got a really bad migraine, puff, done, burn it out, set it aside. decide, woo, I'm gonna do it. I went down in the basement, sat down on the couch, lit that thing up, and I smoked like half of it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now we have somebody that doesn't smoke ever, who smokes half of this thing. I was in La La Land, and it was strong stuff. Okay, because my friend who does smoke like every day, well, he needed some higher quality stuff, and so he just gave me some of his stuff, or gave Sam some of his stuff. So I was fine until I stood up and the world shifted and I was super duper high. So I decided, uh-oh, this isn't good. I need to go upstairs. And I was so high, I felt like I was just like drunk. And so I walked upstairs and it happened. Boom! I had a panic attack while being high because I was afraid of being high. And so my brain goes into fight or flight. Boom! Oh no, I can't get away from this crazy, high, gross feeling. Boom, another panic attack. Oh no, I'm trying to get away. Boom! Yeah, and I kept having what I called them time jumps, where I feel like I'm in a moment, but that moment's already passed, and I'm like, boom, I'm okay, now I'm in this moment again. It was bad. That went on for a couple hours. Well, when your body goes into fight or flight for a couple hours, eventually your body goes, hey look, this fight or flight, it's not working. Let's send in the big guns and shut it down, and boom, everything goes down. And so, unknowingly, the next morning, I wake up, no longer at my high. I'm at like this weird, it almost felt like a hangover. And I was in this weird, funky state of things don't feel real. I don't know if I feel real. It feels like I'm in a coma and I need to wait, like I'm in a dream. Like it just feels nothing, like I feel like I'm in my brain, but I'm not in my brain. It's a real weird feeling. Now what I didn't know is at the time I was experiencing called depersonalization. And depersonalization is horrible. It's bad. It's bad. Depersonalization, and I was also having derealization. So there is a difference between the two. I have a whole video on depersonalization. If you like, check that out. I have one called Depersonalization, all capital letters, or one called The Gift of Depersonalization, which you will probably find beneficial as well. But check those out. However, at the time, it was not a gift. It was scary. It was terrifying. I didn't know if I needed to be woken up still. I didn't know what was going on. So fast forward a couple months of that, and I didn't even know the questions to ask, you know. But as I was going through, I found this technique called reframing. And reframing, now that I got that out of the way, this will help put this into perspective. So, reframing is a way of going through a situation after the fact and putting new emphasis, new motion, and new ideas on that particular situation that happened. So most people, well, I won't say most, I'll say some people get anxiety from a traumatic experience that they're like me, they just kind of ran high anyway, and that traumatic experience kind of thrusted them into an anxiety temporary disorder is what we'll call it, because I always say this is all can be temporary if you want it to be. So, and I definitely did, and I was not going to give up until it was gone. So one of the techniques that I found was this reframing. So as an example, here's exactly what I did to help reframe. And this, I did it a couple times, and it worked, and it helped ease my brain. So it's a constant battle between your conscious brain and your subconscious brain duking it out. Your subconscious brain's like, look, you can't handle it right now. I need to take over. I need to handle this. And your conscious brain's going, no, look, I really want to be back on top. I want to be in control. And they're constantly going back and forth. So, we need to show your subconscious brain that everything is fine. Well, you can't directly tell it. I mean, you can talk to it. It's fine. I always say you shouldn't be talking to yourself all the time. Not in a crazy way. But you should be talking to your subconscious brain all the time. But what I did is I went downstairs. I sat in the very same spot that I had the joint. And I took the joint. Okay, and I held it. I didn't light it. It wasn't that far yet. I held it. And I kind of reenacted what I had done. Okay? I reenacted about how long I was down there, about 10 minutes. Now, when you do this, and you're going to reenact this situation, make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings. because your brain is constantly filtering out the world. And so what you need to do is pay a little bit more attention to what you're trying to filter. So I'm back down in the basement. I am smelling the same smells. It's about the same temperature. The couch feels a certain way. The joint in my hand feels a certain way. All this stuff coincides with your healing, okay? And so I ran in my head and pay close attention to your surroundings. All of your senses, smell, sight, taste, touch, all that stuff. Pay attention to them and walk yourself through what happened. So I sat down there for about 10 minutes with that joint, paying attention to all those things. After that, I stood up and I looked at my surroundings after I stood up. And I said, okay, this is where I was at. This is how I felt about it. And this is what's really happening. You know, nothing makes, when you're a kid, nothing makes the dark time feel more insignificant than turning on the light, right? Because you can look around and go, oh, this is all that's here when it's nighttime. Same exact thing. So I stood up and said, okay, well, this is what was really happening. My brain was being altered, and this is what was really happening. The couch was still there. The posters that I have down there were still there. The pool table was still there. The pop machine, everything is still there in the exact same fashion. And then I walked towards the stairs and I reframed the stairs. How does the handrail feel? These are things you got to keep in mind. It's tough. How does that handrail feel when I grab it? That's got a grain to it. It's a wood handrail. It's got a grain to it. I didn't have shoes on. What does the steps feel like? You know, are they hard? Are they soft? Things like that. What smells do I smell? These things, your brain will take all this information and readjust it in your head. And then once I got done and I got to the top of the stairs and I got to the spots where I was freaking out, I said, you know what? That's okay. All of that is okay. And I'm sorry. I apologize. Sincerely apologize to yourself. It sounds weird. I know, people. It sounds weird. But I apologize to myself. And I'm sorry that happened. And I'm sorry that went that way. But it's okay. Like, life's still good. And things will be fine. Like, I did that a few times. And it helps calm your brain. It helps that battle between the conscious and the subconscious, and it helps marry those two back together, because that's what it is. They have separated, and you need to push them back together, because you can't have one without the other, okay? They both need to work in tandem with one another, and that's where you find your peace of mind, okay? So when you think about your high anxiety, and you think about where you want to get to, you usually think about how you felt before your high anxiety days, when you were a kid and you were playing around. And so, well, at that time, your brain comes pre-wired with those two together, and they will mend back together. Okay, I am proof of it. The Aaron's Anxiety family page. There's got to be. I think I was trying to figure it out the other day. There's got to be at least somewhere just shy of 100 people that I have come in contact with that have had a problem, whether it was less serious or more serious than mine, and have found their way to stability in their head, okay? And I was thinking, that's awesome. You know, whether they took my advice or they didn't take my advice, it doesn't matter. What matters is those people got to a place where they found safety in their head, okay? And so, and reframing is just one of those many techniques, okay? And that's what this channel really is about. And so my subscribers, you guys can tell them. We've got lots of videos here on how, and basically all my job is, and all I'm trying to do is tell you guys that things have worked for me, things that haven't worked for me, because the more we can all get together and do this, hence the Aaron's Anxiety page, the more we can weed out all the crap. You know, and we can get through, you know what, look, this didn't really work. It may work for some people, there's those weird areas, but there's some things that just don't plain work, you know what I mean? But this one actually was beneficial, and it did help. So, without any further ado, I don't want to let this video go on too long. I don't want to take up too much of your day, but I hope you're having a wonderful day, and put these things into practice. You're not out anything just to try them and to give them a shot, and I think you will find some benefit. So if you've tried reframing before and it's worked for you, or if you're gonna try it, come back, let me know how it went in the comments, you know what I mean? If you found even a little bit of, hey, that thing's not scary, you know what I mean? That's what we're looking for, okay? Because these are small baby steps to get to that big that big, I'm healed, I'm back to par, I'm at least in a safe place, okay? All right, friends, until next time, like, comment, subscribe. I'm Aaron. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next video.